Hey guys, it's Tuesday, January 24th, and this is Newswave. So the first bit of news comes from Dark Souls 3. We finally have the name and the date for the final expansion that is being released for the game. This, of course, comes from Bandai Namco Entertainment, where they do come out and say it's going to be filled with new horrors for the player to overcome, toe to claw against massive beasts, and a twisted descent into the bowels of the end of the world. And they also gave us a date. It's coming out March 28th. And it looks good. I mean, if you like Dark Souls 3, of course, it's Dark Souls 3. It's more Dark Souls 3, you know? And the visuals look great, of course. And I'm sure it's going to be super difficult. It is labeled Dark Souls 3, The Ringed City. This final expansion is included for the Season Pass. You can also purchase it separately if you don't have the Season Pass. And we also found out today that EA is going to be releasing an early trial for EA Access and Origin members. This early trial will start March 16th, and it's actually going to be 10 hours of gameplay. You can play the game for 10 hours. Early, obviously, March 16th, and then that gameplay that you do can be transferred over to the full game when you purchase it. This is actually a pretty cool idea considering you can try the game for 10 hours. I believe you just need to be signed up for EA Access, usually about a $5 investment. A lot of people say it is worth it because you do get decent content for the money. And again, you get to try the game out for 10 hours. Your save data will move over. So you get a shot basically a week early, March 16th going forward, and then you can move your stuff over on March 21st when the game comes out in the US, and then of course the 23rd in the UK, you can just move your stuff over and continue your game from there if you like it. And Resident Evil 7 came out today, and it was met with mixed reviews. So a couple places gave it like 10s, 9s. I know IGN gave it a 7.5 or so, and a lot of the gripes are different things, more along the lines of it being kind of slow, but the big thing that people seem to love is the VR aspect. And I've said it before, this is the perfect game for VR. It's a horror game. People are saying it's absolutely terrifying. Of course, you could probably put like your grandmother in it and just run down the hall for her, and she would probably start screaming after stuff hits her. They would do that with different commercials for other VR stuff, but this is a game that really can sell the VR headset. Of course, it's on PlayStation VR. I believe it's an exclusive for it currently. But this is the game that I have to believe Sony had to lock up for VR, because looking at it, any of these horror games, I mean, let's face it, are perfect for VR. I know some people just don't want to play any of these horror games in VR because it is that terrifying sometimes, but perfect. Everyone says it's super immersive for Resident Evil 7, and even if you don't have VR, it's still a decent game. It's getting, like I said, on average, reviews of around 8 out of 10 or so, whatever that means, of course. I would go in, read some of the bullet points at the bottom, and kind of decide for yourself. I wish more demos were available, much like the EA Access kind of thing. I just wish, in general, we could go in and download a demo that includes, like, a level or so, but that's the way it is now. You got to kind of take other people's opinions and reviews and make your best judgment, basically. And if you're going to PAX South, keep an eye out for the Switch, because it will be playable at PAX South. You can actually show up there, probably wait in a line that's over an hour long, I'm sure, but they're going to have over 8 games playable, including the standards. You know, Mario Kart, of course, will be there playable, 1-2 Switch, and they'll have Breath of the Wild, of course. I'm sure that line will be the longest, but you can go there and you could try out the Switch for yourself. This kind of is part of their tour around basically the United States and Canada, because on that same day, they're going to do a tour in Canada as well, where they're going to do Toronto and set up and do the same thing that they did in New York. You can go there and play games and everything. I'm going to attempt to make it, like I said, to the Washington, D.C. event, but if you're going to PAX South, it's really cool that all of a sudden you can go there expecting to play the Switch. Again, PAX South is January 27th to 29th, and that will take place in San Antonio, Texas. And we got word today that Am Setsuna is coming to the Switch on launch day. That's March 3rd. If you haven't played Am Setsuna, it's actually a really cool old-school RPG. I'm a big fan of these style RPGs. It fits perfectly with the Switch's handheld mode because the visuals, while I actually like them, aren't super taxing. So we'll get great frame rates and everything, of course, but any of these RPGs, I think work perfect for the handheld mode going to TV, so you don't have to stop your gameplay in the middle of a battle or something. And the game itself, like I said, it's an old school RPG. I do like that it shares a battle system that is very similar to Chrono Trigger, for example, that's been out on the PS4 for a while now, but it was always a fun game. I actually played a little bit of it on Steam, and I liked it. I didn't get all the way through it. From what I've heard, it's about 20 hours. I think I played about 8 or 9 hours into it. I might actually end up getting it on the Switch as well, and just playing through it on there again, because it's easier for me to play it on portable mode when I'm upstairs, for example. It's also worth noting that Am Setsuna is digital only, which can only tell me that the eShop will be ready to go on launch day as well. We still don't know anything about the Virtual Console, of course, but the fact that we'll be able to download Am Setsuna from the shop tells me that there has to be a Nintendo Direct coming or something, because at this point you should be able to go in the shop and at least download Am Setsuna or maybe other digital games like Binding of Isaac, for example, depending on where this goes from here for the eShop. They have to tell us eventually. We still have another month or so. I would expect a Nintendo Direct soon, talking about the Virtual Console and, of course, the digital eShop. And if you've been concerned about Playtronix Uke for the Switch because it was canceled on the Wii U, if you had a pre-order or you funded it on the Wii U and you've been concerned, well, a couple people have been tweeting to them, and finally today they came out and said that later on this month they're going to have a whole system set up to where you can change your pre-order out for the Wii U and move it to the Switch or another version. I don't think you just have to go to the Switch version. If you had it on the Wii U, they're going to let you go to any other system, whether it be PC or PS4 or Xbox One. You don't have to worry about being locked into the Switch if you're not going to be able to get it, because I know that is kind of a concern as well. Obviously, people pre-ordered it on the Wii U because they probably have a Wii U, and to know that they can jump to other systems, I think, is a little better rather than having to be locked into that Switch release. However, they said you will be able to do it by the end of this month. Of course, after today, it's 24th, so I'm hoping, maybe by the 30th or so, you'll be able to start that. Just keep an eye on their Twitter, because they said they will put more details there. And guys, the 8th Star Wars movie finally has a title. They actually came out today, gave us the title for it. It's Star Wars: The Last Jedi. And of course, now fans are all over the place trying to figure out what the title means exactly. A lot of people are very concerned, though, because when they first showed the title, the lettering is all in like a red font. And if you don't know much about Star Wars, or maybe you've been living under a rock, usually red in the Star Wars universe is not a good symbol, because it usually represents people like the Sith, for example, who is, of course, the evil side of the Star Wars universe, the dark side. And a lot of people are now concerned that because this is also the second movie in the set, in the trilogy, which if you go back and look at any of the other second episodes, that's always basically where the dark side, at least for the time being, wins that movie. Of course, Empire Strikes Back, the last bit of the episode 5 at that point, it's a bad ending, where everyone's really doom and gloom at the end of episode 2. It's very doom and gloom as well. So again, it's hard to say what's going to happen. Usually red text means bad things in Star Wars, so fans are all over the place trying to figure it out. I just want to see it. We still don't have a trailer for it, and it's less than 11 months away now. I think they said like a little over 300 days. So I would expect some kind of trailer soon. Maybe, I don't think they're in the Super Bowl, maybe a little after that. But there's got to be something soon. We have to start getting ready for the new Star Wars movie. And we finally have a release date for Tekken 7. Bandai Namco Entertainment did come out and announce that it is showing up June 2nd. Currently, the systems coming out for are the PS4, of course, Windows PCs, Xbox One. And they're going to have things like season passes as well for those systems. And both the PS4 and the Xbox One get exclusive items. For example, if you pre-order on the Xbox One, you will get a digital copy of the 360 version of Tekken 6 to play. And if you pre-order on the PS4, you'll get exclusive costumes and a jukebox mode. All of that will be available on launch day when you pick the game up. More than likely in the PS4 version there's a code. More than likely in the Xbox One version there's a code for Tekken 6. And of course all of your exclusive costumes and jukebox mode. And that's it for Newswave today, guys. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Make sure you check out some of the other episodes I've been doing videos, especially the Foxconn leak one. This one seems to be pretty popular right now. Make sure you check that one out. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning for more Newswave.